Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 64, coming to you from the snow-capped hinterlands of Durango Co. We're recording on March 16th, and I'm your host. What? And why, real quick, why does it matter? Like, the listeners aren't going to know. Does this sound different coming to you from the crisp air of Durango Co.? Anyways, I'm your host, Elric Edge, and with me today are...
Bill Costello.
Elric Edge.
The Scottish version.
Aye. My name is Elric Edge.
There you go.
I'm in Colorado now.
Yeah, by the way, the Co means Colorado.
Then shouldn't it be capitalized?
Okay. I would say 90% of the United States that wasn't educated in New Mexico would know that by context.
Do you have
But
the
here,
evidence
for
to
you,
back
no
up
one
that
Cares
number?
where we are.
But for you, I'll capitalize it. There, see?
Okay.
We
Well,
should
Now
do,
is it Colorado?
Yeah, whatever. It works.
we should do a theme to our theme of the show. So rather than the hinterlands or the desolate wastelands, coming to you from the Varnspire
Oh.
or the All Points.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah, as we traipse around the realms. Or we could just go, hey, welcome to the show.
Yeah, here we are.
My name's Elric.
Yep. It hasn't changed in the last 2 weeks.
It'd be funny if it did, though. You're like, my name's Elric Smith.
Yeah.
My name's now Sandy. Okay, stop that. Stop it.
All right. What are we doing today?
Okay, in the intro, yeah, that was supposed to
That
not
was the
be
intro.
in the recording part, but yeah. First of all, want to throw a shout out to a YouTube channel for Dead Gamer, who was a guy that Elric and I met out at LVO. And Kirk is just one hell of a great guy. We talked about him last show, but we forgot to shout out his YouTube channel, Dead Gamer on YouTube.
Did we?
We didn't mention the show. No.
I thought I mentioned something about needing to put it in the show notes because there's a lot of like dead gamers.
Yeah.
So if you search YouTube for dead gamer, it's
Yeah.
going to be kind of like difficult. It was for me. I had to go to your link. So
Yeah. So
we'll put it in the show notes.
yeah. So it'll be in the show notes again because I put it in the last one. But hey.
Okay.
And also, I want to throw a big thank you and shout out to Sandy McDonald, who just came on board as our newest Patreon member. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
And last but not least in the shout out department, want to thank Dan and Brandon and the guys from the Cubic Shenanigans podcast, because currently I am wearing my Cubic Shenanigans t-shirt. Ryan is about to change into it.
And I'm left out in the cold. Thanks, guys.
To be fair, you weren't part of the show when they offered to send us.
You
the
said I
shirts.
was always part of the show, Bill.
You always are.
So,
but I wasn't
not
smart enough
important
to
enough.
ask for one for you.
Wow.
See, I'm trying to pawn it off on them, but it was my fault. Okay.
Okay. All
You
right.
happy?
Yeah.
It's in the post.
I'll buy one. Jesus. No, anyway, big shout out to the guys from Cubic Shenanigans, Dan and Brandon. Great guys. If you haven't listened to their show, it covers they don't focus on just AOS or just 40K. They run the gamut of both systems. And so whatever cool is out, they're probably going to be talking about it. So cool guys. Very cool guys. Last but not least, we're coming at you with a whole different format for the show. You're not going to hear the lame little jingles for, hey, the realm of the new dawn. You won't hear that anymore.
Yeah. It's so new, even I don't know what we're doing.
Well, that's because you never study.
Welcome to the realm of the Evernote. Read it.
Read your damn homework.
Yeah.
We had a bit of homework to do
Did we?
for the show.
Yes.
Yeah, we all agreed on the homework. We said
I remember none of this.
we said Elric would do most of the show, so
Yeah, this is your show.
Shortest Rolling Bad podcast ever. Whoa.
you can reach us on.
Yeah, exactly.
So our Twitter handles are. So no, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do away with that sort of formal break in this show and having a section for New Dawn and a section for Battle and Creation. When we have something to talk about in those different areas, we'll talk about them. But generally speaking, we're just going to talk about what's new in the hobby that we've all experienced in the 2-week period. And then we're going to jump off into a lore segment that, rather than just trying to pick one thing apart or something, we're going to pick a topic and hammer it. Or we're going to do something like we've decided to do some community spotlights where we're going to highlight a person or an individual that matters to the AOS hobby.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing some interviews, and we have some canned questions we're going to ask them so that you get the same response and you can kind of feel out who's who and what's what. And we'll tackle topics that you send us too. I mean, this first show, obviously, we decided what the topic was going to be. But if you guys have something you want us to pontificate on, please send it out.
Yeah, basically, we're going to talk about what we want to talk about instead of feeling pigeonholed into segments.
Well, and also no one wants to hear, hey, we didn't play a game.
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't paint
We didn't build anything. Yeah.
Hey, we don't even play this game.
Right. Hey, I built some stuff.
You
I got my
hobbied your
hobby on.
butt
There's
up.
Twitter evidence of it.
I sent this.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
This is why we brought you back.
Yeah.
See?
We need a
Hobby
hobby
hero. Oh, God. Fair enough.
So, in keeping with the new thing, what's new?
Shadow Spear came out today.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I
So
picked up my box.
some camo Space Marines, which I'm guessing are going to replace Scouts in the coming years.
Eventually.
Ryan,
Once
Ryan,
midget Marines.
stop. You're talking about 40K. Stop.
It was on the Evernote.
You're not qualified.
I am, because these Marines were blue
Oh.
and camo, but
Oh,
mostly
fair
blue. More importantly, the other side of the set, I think, is more important than the Ultramarine side.
The Chaos Marines.
New Chaos Marines.
Yeah. Fantastic. They look
Beautiful.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful.
And I think even more impressive is that Lord Discordant that they showed on the community site. That
new model?
That might be my favorite 40K model.
I don't like the head on the beast. If it had a different head, it'd be super cool. But
I wonder if there's any way that you can, like, if you don't like something about a model, you can change it. Do people do that?
no,
You mean
I've
like
never seen that before.
convert it to something?
Yeah,
that
like if you
have
bought a
in mind?
model and you're like, I really enjoy everything about this, but you know what it could do with is like some wings. If I put some wings on it, like, you ever seen anybody
No,
do something
you're not allowed
like
to do that, actually, because if you bring a model like that to the
It's not
table,
WYSIWYG, is it?
somebody's going to, laugh you off the table.
It's a proxy at that point.
Yeah. Welcome back to the hobby, Elric.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's a great looking model.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I've seen so many fun pictures with him with an accordion in his hand.
Nice.
In the top of it, because you've got the discordian and then you've got the accordion.
Yes.
You would-
Oh,
you
those
would hit.
kidders on
Yeah.
the Twitterverse.
Internet, that's one.
Yeah.
3 more and you get Elric.
Two more.
Oh, they only get 3 strikes.
3
Yeah,
strikes.
but you'll
That's
forget about this one, so it's fine.
He's playing
Yeah.
Scottish baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, bigger than the Discordian would have to be the new Space Marine Primaris Lieutenant. They came out
And the captain.
because he came out all destroyed on someone's base.
Oh, you mean
someone's foot.
Abaddon, or do you mean Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Abadabadoobadan?
Hmm?
Abadabadoobadan?
Abadabadoobadah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Comes with, you can do cloak on, cloak off.
Mm-hmm.
Mask on, mask off.
3 different heads, so you're going to buy.
Mouth open, mouth closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you use the face app, you can make him smile creepily.
Yeah.
Ew.
That was a little much even for chaos.
That was funny. So,
Yeah, he's come back. I guess,
did he ever leave?
yeah, he popped off into the storm after his 13th Crusade.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I
he
still
came
had his figure.
Yeah, in shrink wrap.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh, he's primed. So for what, 10 years he's been primed?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm bad.
But he's back. I guess what's his name? Archaon?
Yep, role claimer.
Yeah, he held up his end of the bargain.
He delivered 80 days.
80 days and the War Master showed up.
I actually don't believe that because I read the regimental standard and Imperium's way ahead.
Yep.
They have been absolutely fantastic
Yes, they
recently.
have.
Yeah.
They have been just on point and funny as hell.
Yeah, and Abaddon is about to get smashed by Marnius Calgar.
Yeah.
Yep. We were talking about this on the drive
On the car, yeah.
You think he's going to get beat by?
So here's the
Primaris?
thing, like Twitter. So the next big matchup, this whole Vigilus thing, and I love how we're talking like all about 40K. But bear with us. They have the big Vigilus campaign going on,
Yep.
and it's aiming for a showdown between Marneus Calgar, the chapter master of the Ultramarines, and Abaddon the Despoiler.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody on Twitter is like, well, that's kind of pointless because Abaddon's going to smash Marneus.
No.
And I say, I don't think so.
No, he's not.
Marneus Calgar is like the pinnacle figure of the Imperium. He is, without a doubt, one of the most important people there is.
And
he
respected
Yeah.
people.
And he didn't
Dante.
get there by being some punk pushover.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He's just an Ultramarine, so he got picked.
Okay, Ryan.
Anyway, I know why. I have something that will support your theory, though. Why
Okay.
Marneus will win. He has 2 guns.
Whereas Abaddon doesn't
Only
have
has one. He's bringing a sword to a gunfight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's going to be Primaris versus souped up Marine. So,
Yeah.
I
We'll see how
maintain
it
that
goes.
they can't have Calgar win that fight with Abaddon or even draw that fight. Because if he draws with Abaddon the Despoiler, the Chosen of the Ruinous Powers, then it basically means we didn't need Guilliman to come back. We had Calgar, what the heck? So they have to, Calgar has to be defeated, but I don't think he's going to go down
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's
I
going to
agree
be a
with you,
slap
but-
in the face and he runs away.
Yeah, there's no
It's
way.
going to be a fight.
Calgar is a badass.
And he's wearing his daddy's freaking gauntlets, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean-
catch these hands.
Yeah.
Literally.
Abaddon is going to look at that and go, oh, shizzle, I've seen those before.
Yeah.
I hope they actually do something with it, though. Right? Because 2 new models,
Mm-hmm.
probably going to want to keep them around in the background for
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit.
Abaddon dies right away.
Yeah,
Like
that's
3
what,
months
oh,
after
God.
getting
well,
a
that's
new
why
model.
they can't do it, right?
That would be hilarious.
And he just reverts back to his old form and they release his metal model. Like it was a very limited release.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can only play him for 3 months and then you got to go back to the metal one.
I did see Twitter ask for Dante to show up to
Yeah.
fight. Facebook GW replied and said they already had my dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very easily. So
I have to believe that was what's his name there? God, I can't think of the guy that plays Space Marines. That's the community guy.
So,
But
what
what's
else?
new in the AOS world? Because that's 40K, and that's not what people.
well, we had Gamma come
we
up.
did.
So
Was that cool or what?
I thought it was awesome. I think a lot of people thought it was.
A
I don't
letdown?
think they really understand what Gamma is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, manufacturers, board game centric
publishers.
publisher. Yeah, it's for, like, when you look at the list of seminars that are there, there's nothing to do with new product,
Right.
really. It's all to do with how to run your store,
Yeah.
how to make sure that you don't get sued by your employees.
Yeah, it's a publisher / producer / retailer show, and it's not for the masses. You don't get to buy a ticket and just walk into that thing. If you don't have some creds, you're not getting in.
Yeah, you have to at least have a store.
Yeah.
That's a minimum that you need.
Yeah. So, but we did get some reveals.
We did.
Warcry.
Yeah. And the big one that I think we should focus on is Warcry, which I
It's
had.
taken a lot of crap.
Yeah. Well, I had mixed feelings at first because it's all chaos, right? And I was like, I saw Tom Lyons mention that it feels like Gore Chosen 2.0.
Yeah.
Which, I also felt the same way at first, but then they addressed it on a Facebook post. Somebody kind of made that point as well of like, well, I'm not super excited about it because I'm not interested in chaos. And Games Workshop replied, well, just hold on.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to be revealed.
that's right.
So that kind of got me back on board. So I'm still excited for it.
I think it will start off as chaos. So there's going to be 8 warbands
Something like that.
for that. There's 8 different symbols. Some of them look super cool. You've got the Conan-esque
Yeah.
double snake, which I'm excited to see.
Seraphon.
So they're all going to be chaos.
Right,
Which
yeah.
I mean, Seraphon could be
They're
chaos.
demons.
They're
Yeah,
demons.
They are demons. But then in the center, there's a chaos symbol
Yeah.
for it. And that could just be the Warcry symbol, but I think Tom Lyons kind of said, well, okay, that one's there, and it has that little symbol. So if you have that symbol, you can go to making a death symbol and a
Yeah.
light symbol and
Right.
so on and so forth. So, I don't know. It looks absolutely amazing. The models in it, I think, look fantastic. I like chaos anyway.
Yeah.
So
Right.
for me, I'm like, ooh, look at that. The 2 factions are kind of... are in there, kind of look pretty cool. One's more a beastie faction. The other one looks like they're submariners that they're coming up from the depths. What I'm super excited about is what this means for chaos in AOS. is this going to be the sort of tribes that we're going to start seeing in maybe a Dark Oath book or even just in the background? There's 8 different ones, 8 different realms.
Hey, look at you putting stuff together.
Yeah.
You're
So
better at
that they can
AOS
come-
than you are at 40K.
Yeah, because the red Marines look the same as the blue Marines, and they're all
No,
Ultramarines.
they're red.
If you're colorblind, they're all Ultramarines.
Well, try not being colorblind.
Yeah, hello. I don't want to hear about your little infirmities.
Oh, come on, Ryan. No full punches. Bill can always say he'll edit it out and then leave it in.
Yeah, I'll edit this part out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see. Maybe it's 8 realms, maybe it's not, but it's new terrain for everybody.
Yeah.
The models look great. I'm guessing they're going to be push fit. Kind of like...
You think?
Maybe or maybe not. So I was thinking push fit because it's from the makers of Underworlds, right? And that all started, if you listen to the recent Stormcast episode, where the models just sat in someone's office and they went, okay, we need to make a game for this.
Yeah.
Like, it was the designers just testing out what they could do. And they were like, oh, can we make these push fit? And they're like, yeah. It's like, cool.
I've got a weird take on why it's all chaos at the beginning, and I honestly think that Warcry is a response to the huge volume of sales that Kill Team has. And
Absolutely.
I think really the only thing that they had in the pipeline ready to go was some chaos models. And so I'm not saying they're rushing it or they're just trying to, grab a buck here, but I think the first thing that they could put out that would be fleshed out and ready to go were these chaos forces. And everybody else is in the pipeline getting built, just like the kill teams for Kill Team are. Everybody's in the pipeline getting made into kill teams. And so there's a little bit of lag, and there'll be a little bit of lag before you see a Stormcast kill team and a Seraphon team and a Bretonnian. I mean, Flesh Eater Court.
Same team. I think it's actually going to be more closer to AOS Necromunda. That's the only thing that's against my idea that they're all going to be push fit is
Because the Necromunda models are ludicrously complex.
Yeah.
And also they said that your warband grows and it gets new abilities, new stuff throughout the campaign. So in order to be able to model that, can't really have just push fit models with
you need
with 3 poses,
flexibility,
right? And it also means if they release that with now, I expect the starter, in all honesty, to have some push fit models in it.
Sure.
Because it's the starter. But if they release little faction packs for these things, then we're going to get bits where if they release a Dark Oath book or a Slaves to Darkness book, then you can theme your Chaos Warband to each of these. And I think it's realms. I'm going to go with realms. I think the first one we're seeing is beasts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say shadow
Okay,
for these other guys. Because they've got this bluish tinted skin.
Yeah.
Or it could be metal, actually. But the metal's just poisonous to them, so they have to wear these big helmets. Anyway, regardless, we'll see more
I don't know. I just think it looks cool as heck.
by summer,
Yeah.
which that damn groundhog said we're going to get more spring. So, or did he say a short spring?
I don't trust that little weasel.
No, but GW should. If he said a short spring,
That's true.
Let's end spring
Let's
quickly.
end spring so that we can get new models.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down.
So, Warcry.
Yeah.
And then
Very cool.
the last thing for AOS that came out,
So we're done? Okay. Oh, no, you had something else.
AOS Munchkin.
I picked up the 40K Munchkin.
Nice.
AOS Munchkin is coming out?
AOS Munchkin.
Oh, I just
It's
wasted
coming
my
out.
money on the 40K one then. Damn it. I didn't know that.
I do wonder if it's got a joke about Dark Angels being a chaos.
Actually, looking at the cards going through, just picking through, there are some really interesting jibes they pull on themselves, which is really cool to see. I mean, they just make a lot of fun of themselves and the whole Space Marine motif.
Looking forward to it.
I hope they do the same thing with AOS.
It's going to be hard to play Munchkin with people that aren't in AOS, the AOS Munchkin, but
Yeah.
it's going to be fun for people that know the inside jokes.
But what makes me sad is I picked it up, not realizing that Munchkin is kind of a 3-player game, minimum. And I was like, I'm going to play this with Pam when I get home. Oh, no, that's going to be boring. So, yeah, I have to get Elric over to the house one of these nights and play Munchkin.
You need more than 2 people. You gotta have.
That's what I mean, me and Pam. So,
You need like 5 or 6.
so you can bring Andrew. I'll have my wife, you have yours.
Fair enough.
All right. So what about what pre-released or pre-ordered today? Anything?
I think it was Battletome Karajan Overlords.
Oh, I know it began with a K.
It
Began with a K. There couldn't be Korn again because they just got a book.
Yeah, this is one thing that I just want to go on a quick rant about. Everybody goes on about, Stormcast got another book. Korn has had 3 books at this point. You don't see anybody really moaning about it.
Moaning about that, yeah.
Granted, the last book pretty much got a rewrite with 2.0, but still, give a little bit of love
to the others.
Slaanesh.
Well, or to, some of the older ones. KO could use a look. Seraphon could use a look. There's a lot of them. But I still think, I'm still going to go back to say, you're always going to see a Chaos/Korn Battle Tome update. And you're always going to see new Stormcast because those are the flagships. And that's what this whole thing is about. This is the Age of Sigmar where we're trying to beat back Chaos. I mean, I know there's other flavors, but right now, Nurgle has a great book. I was trying to say Death Guard, but I'm like, oh, that's very 40K of you.
Death has a book. I'm not talking about Death.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Nurgle.
So, I mean, Nurgle has a good book. Tzeentch has a terrible book, but they were on top of the world for so long. Who cares? And, we need Slaanesh. Badly need Slaanesh.
Do we, though?
Yeah. I need more Slaanesh in my life. After seeing what Zach paints, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I don't want to go with the third party though for that. I want GW.
I want GW versions.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you can start a Slaanesh army right now and you'll be pretty damn competitive.
Oh yeah.
Problem is your Keeper of Secrets like 3 inches tall.
Yeah.
And a Stormcast comes out and towers over him. So it's not exactly the terrifying, alluring, sexy butt that we've all come to experience with Zach's models.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, if you have to go third party for it, right, then let's get some love in there. But I mean, Chaos is Warhammer. Harry the Hammer, the guy on the front of the original Warhammer book was Chaos.
That's right.
So we're always going to see them.
Yeah. And honestly, to see Khorne as a faction languishing like they have been, and it sounds, dumb because the latest Khorne Bloodbound book didn't come out that long ago. But honestly, they've been overpowered and overdone, and you're just not seeing them around a lot. And in a world where Khorne isn't a big factor gameplay-wise, I think it's lessened. There should be more Khorne. I'm only saying that because I bought a lot of Khorne stuff, and I'm trying to justify the fact that I'm chasing the meta.
Yeah, and from what we've seen, right? So let's just go over quickly what they got. So they got their terrain feature.
Yes,
everybody's getting now the altar Khorne.
Yep.
They boost their prayers. Seems thematic. It's an altar.
Yep.
Looks kind of cool. They got
judgments, not
models.
endless spells.
Judgment prayers.
Judgments.
I don't know if they're actually called judgment prayers or judgment.
I think they're just judgments.
They're just judgments, and so these are their endless spells.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Their
that
version.
Are really strong,
and they
can't be dispelled.
They use an opposite mechanic to endless spells, so they're not super easy to bring in because you're trying to bring them in on one die.
On a 3+.
Well, there's one on a
With the
3,
reroll.
there's one on a 4, and one on a 5.
Yeah, with rerolls.
Yeah.
Statistically, even the hardest one, you've got more than a 50-50 chance of it showing up.
Okay, I'll just say one thing. Randy. And
wow.
I win. So.
Oh, God. Well, Randy won a game.
I was going to say, this just in. We need that little news flash.
Wow.
Randy won a game, which is actually terrible for him, because that means he's probably going to go 5-0 at Smash Randy's Butthole Fest
Yeah.
con narrative, because he's used his one win this year, and it was against Kyle.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle,
the top ITC Sylvaneth player?
Yeah, that would be
For
him.
last season?
Yes.
Losing to Randy?
Arguably the worst player of Age of Sigmar ever.
I heard that a plank of wood has actually lost less games than Randy in AOS.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I put some googly eyes on a broomstick and used it to push models around, and it beat me. And Randall has yet to ever beat me, even with top tier tournament lists, against just random models that I put on the table.
At this point, I would like to apologize to all of our listeners who think we don't like Randy.
We like Randy?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why we
Kidding
don't
that
use
we
his real name.
apologize.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's why we don't use his real name.
Yeah, we would not.
We don't
do that.
use Randall's real name?
No.
His real name can't be Randall.
Oh, yeah. Who would name their child Randall?
Oh my God, this went off the rails fast.
Anyway.
So we're going back to the old format now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the realm of battle. Where we
Yeah.
done, Jack?
Yeah.
Sweet. Anyway, so back to judgment prayers. We have 3 of them. We have an axe that comes out of the realm, I'm guessing. The realm of chaos.
Ether,
The realm
yeah.
of axes.
The axe realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realm.
It smells really bad. It smells like a 17-year-old's bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Axe body spray.
What's wrong with
For international listeners, that's Lynx. Just FYI. And then we have 2 giant skulls, which I didn't realize were as big as they are. They come on 60 mil bases.
Yep. They are big.
And they tower above normal man-sized models, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I could see them getting used a lot in terrain and stuff like that.
Those are going to get cut up a lot.
Yeah. And then the last one is a giant corn symbol. I don't know what it does. I don't read the book or the source scrolls.
Yeah.
Well, I know the one that got everybody upset was the one that eats spells.
Is that the skulls?
Yeah, the skulls eat spells. But they really don't. I mean, the situation is you have to be within, I think, 18 inches of both of them. And then when you go to cast a spell, you have to roll a natural 8. And if all that happens, then you lose the spell permanently for the rest of the game. So, I mean, that to me, when I first heard it that it was going to cause you to lose spells, I was one of the people going nuts, saying that was way over.
Is it an unmodified roll of an 8?
Yeah, it's a natural 8.
Okay.
It's thematic, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
it's corn.
So,
Well, how hilarious would it be to see Nagash lose Hand of Dust? Because he rolls an 8.
it only affects normal spells, right? It doesn't affect endless spells, or does it affect endless spells?
I think it's spells. It
Because
just
at that point,
Well, if it just says spells, then it's regular.
it's spells.
okay.
Because if it affected endless spells, then you're like, great, that one model just took out 100 points of my army
Yeah.
that I can't now use. But anyway.
But
think
yeah, I mean,
super
it's a situational thing, and it's one of those things that's going to make the spellcaster go, I have to initiate the action to cause this bad thing to happen. It's not, he just puts it out there and bad things happen to you. So that's what, like I said, that was my original beef, was that whole theory of I can play with my toys, but you can't play with yours. But in reality, it's you have to make that decision. Is getting that spell off worth potentially losing it?
But how is that any different, though? Like, you brought that up, and I was like, yeah, whatever, Bill. But then I was like, how is that any different from a Skaven player putting down shackles, putting down the warp stone, and saying, okay, that big flying monster now moves 4 inches. So you can't play with your toy, and I can play with
But
mine.
you still can.
But
That's
you
the whole
can't,
thing.
because you can't move it. So therefore, you're moving it, you're 4 inches.
Yeah.
It's not taking part in the game.
Yeah, if you make somebody's Maw Crusher only move 4 inches a turn, that's
It's
rough.
going to be a pain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But-
and it's the same.
Well,
You can
you know
still
what I
play
say?
with your wizard.
You can play better. That's all. Just play better.
Oh, Bill. Is that the only thing it does? Is it negates spells? Or does it have another ability? Or?
No, what it does is it subtracts 2. If you were within, I think, 18 inches of it, you lose 2 off your casting roll. But then on your casting roll, if you're within 16 inches or 18 inches of both of the models, then on a natural 8, you lose that spell you tried to. You not only don't get it off, but you lose that spell and you take a d6 mortal wounds. So it's a deadly thing. But you have to know where you're at on the board and say, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
You can't move, though. Normally, you can't move after the corn person's
Right.
put this up, because it'll be your hero phase. So, I mean, you can choose not to cast.
That's
Well,
right.
I'm also thinking that if you're a corn player and you take that, you spend the points for it, and then you come up against another army that doesn't have any magic.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points you spent
You've
on
wasted
something
it.
that doesn't do anything.
And who knows how many points there are.
Yeah.
at this
Yeah, I
point.
don't know what the points are.
But that'll actually, because the Aller does a -1 as well when you're within 16 of it
Yeah, it's a -1.
to casting.
Yeah.
So in theory, that could be a -3 cast, which brings all these supercasters that have come out back down to slant level.
Well, it's going to bring Nagash down a peg.
Archaon.
And if you can surround Nagash with those skulls, you now have a fighting chance against Nagash with an army that doesn't have spells.
You also have the ability to potentially just lock him in place as well.
Yeah.
If you can get a couple of them off and just put them around his base
Yep.
and turn off fly, it'll be fun.
Well,
Anyway,
that's all good and everything, but I think really it's getting a potential -3 on just regular casters will really cripple some armies.
Sure.
Like the Flesh Eater Courts and Skaven and stuff like that.
But
Because
it's still-
Skaven have their wizards, like almost all their wizards can cast multiple spells, but get like no bonuses to cast. So
They should all be on a minimum +1 because their terrain gives them +1.
Right.
okay.
And Khorne's coming back as an anti-magic thing, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
You know, for a while there, they didn't really care. He disliked magic, but he didn't really do anything about it. Now, even the Slaughter Priest can unbind an endless spell,
Yep.
Yeah, that's really strong.
which is nice.
Well, and everything that we've seen on it so far makes Khorne look like Khorne should look like.
The only thing that I've seen that would be negative from the rules that I've looked at are there's less cool interest mechanics within some units. So Skull Reapers, now all their weapons do the same thing.
Yeah.
Wrathmongers no longer make you slap yourself in the face.
Well, that was another terrible mechanic, though.
Oh, it was a great mechanic. It led to fear. You know,
Yeah.
you come in, you want to kill me? Okay, well, now you don't have a choice to hit me. The negative play experience, in my opinion, was people charging Wrathmongers and not hitting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, second edition got rid of that, so
right.
yeah.
Right.
I mean that fixed that issue right off the bat.
But anyway.
well,
But
you know,
the thing that Wrathmongers got in return for losing their, you have to slap yourself in the face, is they got, when they die, they get to pile in an attack one more time.
and
which
they
is
also don't
really
give
strong.
your opponent an additional attack. It
Yeah.
only affects Khorne models.
and they increased the range to 8.
Yeah.
But it's fully within, probably.
I don't think so. I don't remember. Anyway,
Who knows? We'll get back
the
to
next
that.
show we do, we'll probably
Yeah.
gush about Khorne.
We'll talk about
Actual
Khorne.
releases, since we're still here, they got the most Warhammery model in Skull Taker. Because he has more skulls
really
per
is.
inch on the model
Yep.
than any other model.
Oh, nice.
Because he's so small.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of skulls on him.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had a generic Herald on foot that came out to replace a really cool one, but that was in Finecast. The one that was running along with his blade outreached, but would just flop because it was made of super thin resin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Another really good one is the Forge World one, where you get the big Demon Prince and the Herald in the
Where
same
he's
kit.
holding the Cadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Karnak and his Flash Hounds got released as
Yeah.
well.
as
yeah.
separate
Kits, which is super quick, in my opinion, but from the Wrath and Rapture
Yeah.
box set, but that's good to see that
Yes.
you no longer
Oh, yeah.
have to spend $160 per 5 Flesh Hounds.
The Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne
The face has got a lot of detail for a bloodletter.
for him.
No, the Bloodmaster.
Oh, yeah. They're gorgeous models. I mean, these
They
things
are.
are just over the top. Flesh Hounds, I think you already said that. And of course, the cards came out and the book. There's a collector's edition and a normal edition. No dice, though.
No dice.
No dice. I guess they already got dice when they were the first Blades of Khorne.
Yeah, they did. They even got a shaker.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. Yeah.
I have the shaker.
dice cup.
So, yeah. So, and just one other thing I want to pass on that a little bird told me is if you have thoughts of doing Khorne at some point in the future, pick up the cards while they're available,
Oh, yeah.
because cards are not a item that they're going to redo after they're sold out. So,
I was actually so annoyed at my friendly local gaming store, or my local gaming store. When the Gloomspite came out, he's like, "Oh, I've got all in." I'm like, "Oh, sweet, cool. I'll come down and pick up a bunch of it." And he's like, "Well, I didn't get the cards because I didn't think you wanted the cards. But here's dice that you'd never use."
Wow.
oh God,
Strong.
Well, thank you, buddy.
that's a good play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sad that I didn't get the cards for Gloomspite. Really frustrating.
Bound to be somewhere you can find them.
Oh.
Yeah, Bill's probably got 42 packs of them in shrink wrap.
I bought 3 of them.
Are you serious?
Of course, I'm not. I bought 1, but
Oh.
I probably won't play Gloomspite. So if you need them, I got them.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Okay.
Problem solved. Moving on.
So, something else came out today that has caused some consternation
Oh, yeah.
around the web.
There we go.
Well, I think we should talk about it.
Yeah.
The limited edition Solar War book hit today as a pre-order. But the problem was it was available both on Black Library and GW. And on the GW site, it wasn't limited to 1 per customer. So a lot of people bought lots of copies, and then they were sold out within a couple of minutes, and now they're all up on eBay. I think you said, what, 300 pounds?
I saw 2 of them on there that were complete listings on the US side, not including just the ones on the UK side, but they were $295.95, both of them.
Yeah.
And that's pounds.
That's
or is
pounds.
that dollars?
That's pounds.
Pounds.
Yeah. There was
So
another
like
$40.
Almost $500 for a book,
Yeah. But they were,
they were
snapped
sold.
up.
right?
Yeah, I looked at complete listings because there was someone that had one up there for $500 and it hadn't sold at the time that I looked at it. And the only reason I looked at it was because maybe I went in before they sold out and I bought one. I could have bought 10.
Yeah. And you did it.
You bought one.
I like the Horus Heresy. I think it's the best series that GW's ever done in books. But I also have now either set myself up for 2 things. One, if someone really wants it, let me know. I can get it to you. Or 2, every 4 months for the next 3 years, I'm going to have to make sure I'm at a computer at 11 o'clock in the morning to buy the next leather-bound book.
Yeah.
And I just wanted them because I wanted to have a nice leather-bound book
Yeah.
collection.
But, I think they'll learn from it and they'll move on. But we should move on, too, because we're just flogging a dead horse now. Yep. So did anybody get any work done? Oh, wait. I know. There's a picture on Twitter.
Yeah.
Where Elric sat down in front of someone else's models.
It was staged, I tell you. It was staged.
Like the moon landing. Anyways. Yeah. So I've been slowly getting through my trog herd. I've just been putting together rock guts. I need to get another 6 of them built.
6 down, 6 to go?
6 down, 6 to go.
Sweet.
And then I ordered 3 boxes of fell water. And once I get all that done, that'll be my 1,500 points of trog herd for, smash old Randy.
Yeah. Smash Randy's
The most recent victor of all of us.
What's that?
The most recent victor
Yeah,
of all of
that's
us.
true.
So maybe we should temper our,
Okay.
He's got a proven track record.
So really by winning a game, all he did was lose at getting the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
So he still loses.
basically foisted the wooden spoon on someone else.
Yeah.
He did win Blood Bowl, so maybe he'll have more success there.
He's got quite the role going on now. Maybe he's becoming a force of nature like Warhammer TV Dan, who's actually winning huge multiplayer events. I'm just saying.
He has won more games in the last 2 tournaments than I think Randy has won.
In his entire life.
Ever?
Well, I was going to put a timeline on it, but
Yeah.
you'd have to go back in 1967. He won a game against.
Wow. In the womb.
Anyways.
We got to stop this Randy bashing because
Yeah.
he's just going to hurt me. He doesn't come after you
next
guys.
episode there'll be positive Randy reinforcement.
Nothing but positive.
So none of us will be on that show.
Yeah, we're going to have
No,
guests.
we just won't mention him.
That's about as positive as it gets for
Yep.
Randy.
Anyway,
So I don't have any hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally did nothing this week because I had other things to attend to.
Yep.
So, same?
same
Well,
old same.
you have a good reason, though. So,
Yeah, no,
yes, you do.
I don't.
It's called the tax deduction.
Yeah.
Yep.
A walking, talking tax deduction.
Ownership is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
Wash and wax. Wash and wax. So, we're going to do our hot topic, our hot button topic, our thing that we're going to talk about. Does everybody know what we're going to talk about? Did you guys, you all did your homework, right? Because I got some stuff typed up here.
Holy cow.
You have
Bill.
handouts for us?
No, I don't have it. These are for me. I'm sorry. I did my homework. Okay.
We're going to give you a Cliff Notes version,
Okay.
but it's just going to be Bill speaking for the next 45 minutes.
No, it's not.
Yep. Enjoy.
Yep.
Here's what we're going to talk about. And we decided after the last show that one of the topics we wanted to hit and talk about was whether or not Archaon is a god at this point in the lore. Now, I know a lot of people right now are looking at their radio or their podcasting device going, are those 3 idiots idiots? But honestly, in the mortal realms, what does it take to be a god? And does Archaon have that certain something?
I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
I don't think he does. Firstly,
You're wrong.
Oh.
Done.
in order to be a god these days outside of Sigmar, you either need to be dead or an elf. Is he one of those things? No, cool.
What about Gorka Morka?
Gorka Morka doesn't exist. He's a made-up thing by...
He's a mushroom haze.
Whoa! What do you mean Gorka Morka doesn't exist?
Well, it's kind of a crappy story, don't you think?
Sigmar
Some
fandom.
big orc was like, oh, I hate myself, so I'm going to split myself in two, and I'm going to become this cunning guy or this brutal guy. Yeah, it's sort of made up.
You guys are idiots.
It's not the year of destruction yet, dude.
See,
once we get more background, we'll be good.
Yeah. Next week, we'll talk about, is Gorka Morka a thing?
Sorry, in order to be...
What about Grungny?
Grungny?
Yeah.
Who the
Grungny.
hell is Grungny?
He's the dwarf god who... There wouldn't even be Stormcast. Sigmar wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't for Grungny.
He's not a Seattle punk band?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Wow, you're just pronouncing it really weird. I've never heard it pronounced that way.
How is it supposed to be pronounced?
Grungny.
Grungny.
Whatever.
It's my people, I'm sure.
Hey, I'm American. I brutalize every consonant.
Archaon.
Yeah, Archaon.
Whatever, he's not even active right now.
He's still a god.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's...
And he's in the stories.
Yeah.
Which is more than I can say for a lot of the other ones.
I can't think of like.
When was the last time Nurgle had any lines in a play?
Well, that's it, because the Chaos Gods aren't actually gods. I'm going to.
But you just said earlier the only way you could be a god was either. Oh yeah, you said dead or elf.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever.
And include the entities that are chaos.
Before we start arguing like we are,
okay,
just want to do one quick thing before we talk about whether or not Archaon can be a god. We need to kind of, for those people like me who came into AOS at AOS and don't know all the backstory of Archaon, the Everchosen.
Wouldn't that be when everybody came into AOS? Is when they came into AOS? Sorry.
You've got me in a logical conundrum now, don't you?
That look was worth
that
it.
was awesome. Okay, anyway, you got me. I said it wrong. You got me. So anyway, in his former life, Archaon was known as Diedrich Kastner.
Yep.
A highly devout and zealous Templar of the Twin-Tail Comet, i.e. Sigmar. So he was a real devout guy from Sigmar, but his origin story comes from a worshipper of corn who bedded unwillingly a woman from, Hagendorf?
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Yeah.
Okay.
He raped her.
well, this is. Did not know this part of the story.
Anyway, that's why he hates the ruinous powers, is because he was sired, out of wedlock, pretty much via rape of the guy that did it was, let me see, I have his father's name here. His father having been a champion from the Varg tribes who forced himself upon a cowering innocent during a raid that had seen his birth village of Hagendorf burned to the ground in 2390 Ick. With the death of his mother and the hatred of his stepfather for his origins, the rape-spawned child would later go on to be adopted by a Sigmarite priest, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he became a devoted of Sigmar.
And this is where I can pick up the story, because I didn't know that part, but apparently it's in a book.
It's in a book.
The Everchosen book from that came out near the end.
Yeah,
but
book in my backpack right now.
Sweet.
Was it limited edition?
Yeah,
Sold
it was,
instantly? You
I
paid
bought it.
$500 for it? Yeah.
It was that one where it makes him look really weird with his helmet sitting with his sword flaming right in front of him on the front of the cover. Anyway, so he's super devout to Sigmar, and then he goes below the Citadel for the College of Light, and he goes down in their vault and he reads a book. When he reads in that book, he is told the truth.
The Book of Divination.
Well, I don't know what the book was called.
It's called the Book of Divination.
Okay, he read the Book of Divination, and then he runs screaming out off that temple going, it's a lie, and he goes up to the north to track down the truth. He has seen the truth. And it's probably that Sigmar is a terrible god, or probably not even really a god. But who knows, we can get
He's got a
way.
case of the butts with Sigmar.
So then he doesn't want to...
But can I interject one thing?
Okay.
Real quick, a quote from the book, and it says, but deep inside, he wholly resented the gods of chaos and the misery they have brought upon him. Thus, the half-Norscan warlord stood ready to fulfill his destiny and usher in the end of all things. In the very end, he shall come to face the very God of his people, of all mankind. I just wanted that out there because that is going to speak to a point I'm going to bring up later. So, he hates Sigmar and he hates light, but he also hates the ruinous powers.
Oh yeah, he doesn't. He really does not want to serve
And
the gods.
I didn't want to jump into your train of thought there, but I wanted to get that out before we got too far.
Yeah. So then he goes on a search for some magical artifacts. He goes on a quest. He doesn't meet anybody in a tavern, but he heads on out there to get his magical items he needs. So you can
You need a thief and a mage.
Yeah. Instead, he just goes out there to try and get his pieces of armor, his crown, his sword, the Slayer of Kings, his steed. And to do that, he has to do some pretty crazy stuff.
Well, and these tests he's getting are from the ruinous powers.
Yeah. So at some point in Archaon's life, so he has to go and he needs to get crowned the Everchosen. So he wants to destroy the world. At this point, he's just mad at everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's chaos or light or whatever. He just wants to destroy the world. Which, spoiler, he does.
Yeah.
No way.
Thanks, Teclis. Anyway,
Manfred.
It's always an elf's
Manfred's
fault.
the one that hosed him.
the village idiot hosed it all. Anyway, so he goes up, and at one point he has to go through each of the four gods to impress Be'lakor, the Shadow Prince, because he is forever made to crown the next Everchosen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real gatekeeper.
He is a gatekeeper.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But
Which he's ultimately very sore about.
yeah. He was.
Really wants the job.
He does, but he can never put the crown upon himself.
That's right.
But Archaon single-handedly takes on a bloodthirster, a keeper of secrets, a lord of change, and a grey unclean one through basically room after room after room in this quest to get his different pieces of his armor, which when combined, he can call forth nothing. Literally. But he
that's
has
kind
it.
of anticlimactic.
He gets the Eye of Ed Sheeran, he gets the armor of Morkor, he gets the crown, he tricks the demon steed, Drogar,
yeah.
away from, insert the name of the person that he stole it from.
Demon Lord Agramon.
Yeah.
Stolen from the palace of Demon Lord Agramon.
So then, he gets all his stuff, and he takes part in the Storm of Chaos campaign, in which
Was that the worldwide campaign?
That
Did he
was
have
the
to
worldwide-
mail that one in?
Yeah, we did. Literally have to mail that one in. So this is where New Chaos Warriors came out, actually, the first time.
Yeah.
And they get all the way down to Middenheim, try to storm it, and then an orc shows up.
The orc.
An orc. Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if you read it, it was like, wow, you're a 10-page blurb.
Oh, it was crazy. So, they trash all the way to Middenheim. They get to the gates. They're fighting in the city. It's super epic. And then Grim Gore Ironhide comes up, smacks him across the face a couple of times. Doesn't kill him. And goes, Orcs is the best. And then skips off.
Yep.
Never to be seen again.
Greatest story ever.
Yeah.
Because orcs is the best.
And then they just retconned that. That never happened.
Yeah.
But it got replaced with the end times. So Archaon finally snuffs out the light of Middenheim, of the White Wolf,
Yeah.
And
Ulrich.
just ends the world. Thanks to Teclis and Manfred.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, but he meant well.
Who? Archaon or
Archaon.
Manfred? Okay, so
He meant it in a good way. I'm just saying.
do we want to get into your theory now?
No,
or-
we got to do that after.
Okay.
Because that's a...
So now do we want to move into the Age of Sigmar Archaon?
Yeah, so Age of Sigmar Archaon. He is not originally in the realms, though. When the realms start, he comes into the realms and sets the sky on fire.
Yes.
He makes statues weep blood. He terrorizes everywhere. Just his presence coming into the land heralds pretty much the end of the Age of Myth and starting with the Age of Chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bit like Marathi coming into like Olga.
No, I think his was a little more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did
Because-
set the world on fire.
I mean, when he headed for the All Points, it was like a thing. I mean, people knew it on every realm.
Yeah, so he comes into the mortal realms because he wasn't there to start with. So he comes from the realm of chaos into the mortal realms. And when he does, his symbol, which is a super cool symbol, it kind of looks like the chaos symbol, but with coolerness.
Okay.
Arch-
Gold coolerness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts either just showing up carved into the ground or burning the skies. Statues in Azerheim start bleeding from their eyes.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah, pretty much.
People are going mad. There is literally cats and dogs living together.
It's hysteria. And this is kind of before, or are you talking about the time before the gates of Azir are closed?
Yeah.
His initial, okay, yeah.
Yeah, his initial, like him literally coming into the mortal realms makes them revolt against him.
Yeah.
Almost. Like he is impacting not just the realm he's in, but every realm when he comes in there. Like there's madness spreading throughout. People that go out in the dark, like at night, they start to hear strange noises, and the only coherent thing that they can find is literally, he's coming.
He is coming.
He is coming.
He is coming.
And what we've got to remember is the people in the mortal realms don't have a clue who Archaon is.
Right. They're not ready for this. I mean, they don't know the history of the old world, so.
No. It's been centuries since, maybe even millennia since he existed. And what would be cool for me is how long was he in the, like how much time passed for him?
Yeah.
You know, was it a couple of weeks since the end of the old?
Yeah, it would be interesting to kind of see what happened to Archaon when the old world crumbled and he got sucked into wherever everything kind of went. You know, who went where in between that time and when he came back out.
You kind of have to assume that he went to the realm of chaos.
Yeah, but like what happened there?
Like the Wonder Years type.
Well, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, we just did Realm Slayer last week, and Gortrek had no idea. He stepped in and then stepped out, and it was the Mortal Realms.
Yeah.
And he was like, they're messing with me. You know, so I have to believe, I don't know. I would think that no time passed for him. It was, hey, I won. I did the end times thing. Oh, where am I?
Well, how frustrating would that be then? Right? You put in all this effort to create the fall of the old world, and you succeeded, and so that in a blink of an eye, you're just right back into another world that has to be conquered.
I mean, that could be his fate from the gods.
Is that he just always has to conquer and he never gets to savor the...
Or maybe
It could be it.
he never wanted to break it at all.
Of course you wanted to break that.
Do we want to get into that yet, Bill?
We
Okay, it's happened twice now, but in the same frame, and I've done a lot of reading about Archaon lately, like within the last week, and because I didn't know crap from the, I've told you I don't know anything before.
Yeah, this is
Age
all
of
very
Sigmar.
fresh to you.
It's very new to me, and I read the Archaon book, and I read some other things, and I followed some lore websites and Warseer. And,
you dug deep.
yeah, and one of the things that I kept asking myself was, did this guy really want to beat Sigmar at all? And then it became, the other question is he actually working for Sigmar? And maybe not Sigmar per se, but Order instead? And he's actually the perpetrator of the Great Game?
You probably should have prefaced this with, "Are you sitting down?" 'Cause that's,
Yeah.
I mean, what brings you to that thought?
Okay, so a couple of things. In a lot of the passages in the book, when he was fighting people, these major named people, there's a few of them that he just abjectly cut their heads off or beat up or killed outright to end them. And these are like god level people. These are the Teclis and Tyrion types that he just ended. Then he gets into a big fight with Sigmar, Heldenhammer. And at a couple of points during that fight, he had the upper hand and had the opportunity to kill him.
Well, that could just be his regret, though, from...
Well,
Why would he have regret?
Yeah, if you're the Everchosen and you're
because
the guy...
he supported a lot of his life to Sigmar.
Wouldn't that just make him hate him more and want to end it?
Yeah. See, but this is my whole
It's
thing
like
is...
the buddy cop thing, right? Oh, your cop's corrupt, your buddy's corrupt, but he's been with you for...
Remember that Archaon is in possession of that Eye of Shirian, which he can use to see the future. And if
Only
he
if he
knows...
rolls correctly.
Well, yeah, he's got to roll high enough, but let's say he rolled really boxcars one day. He's sitting around there with Sigmar and he, boom, boxcars. And they realize the old world is imploding. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. At some point, chaos is taken over and this place ends. Why don't we do it on our terms so that we can set up something new going forward? Now, I know it's a stretch. It's a huge stretch.
No, I don't think it's as much of a stretch as you say it is, because in the Cain book, in the end times, they talk about how this is it's cyclical. Mm-hmm. This has happened before.
Right.
So,
It's all the same gods as well. So that's a cool point that you touch on there in our discussion of is Archaon a god, is the people, the elves in that Cain book are playing out gods. Like from the previous cycle.
Right.
So each of them are one of the gods playing the tragedy of the elven gods. Mm-hmm. So what if Archaon is just a god who
playing
just
out
keeps
his part?
And his part is the destroyer. He is the titan. He is the
or the thing that keeps
ender.
either side from winning.
He does keep everybody in check, right? So
yeah.
I mean, let's just be clear. He does not support the gods.
Right.
He does not like them at all. And he will use them to get power, but he is not beholden to them. And the chaos entities, since I'm moving away from calling them gods, because they're really just the
ruinous powers.
Yeah. Are scared of him because he can get power. What I don't understand is why the chaos gods or entities or whatever we call them, don't just stop giving him power.
Because they can't.
Yeah.
Because if Tzeentch was to say one day, well, you know what? I'm taking it back, then he's going to have the power of the other three gods, and they're going to go after Tzeentch. Or if Khorne said, nah, you're not my boy no more, it's going to be
they just can't agree.
Piggy pile on. Well, and that's the whole thing is since, they always talk about in all the quotes at the beginnings of these things, it's always, I'm doing what you can't. I'm combining our forces to make a victory, which is something you guys can never do because you're subservient to me.
Yeah, you're fighty.
Yeah. You don't have the maturity to put your little squabbles away and work together to do something. So you hired me to do it, which makes me inherently better than you, which is why I say he's a god. Because he can do what 4 ruinous powers / gods cannot do. And that is take all of these forces and make them work together. And the crazy part is when you read these books, it's not a thing of, hey, he comes around to Valkia and Be'lakor and some of these other guys, and they're like, oh, we don't want to do this, but we will. It's, what's up, boss? What do we need to do? And same thing with the what's his name? The Demon Prince of Nurgle, who's just like, I'm fighting my own war out here. Oh, Archaon's here? What can I do for you, boss? You need my army? I'll pull out of this if you want.
It's a fear thing for them, right?
But why would they? If they're demons,
Archaon?
They can't die. It just means, like when the Khorne demons die, they have to trudge back across that field. It takes them like 1,000 years, which doesn't matter. Time is irrelevant to a demon. Yeah. And they have to explain why they failed. And you get to the finish line and say, I pissed off Archaon. Okay, well, yeah, that's what we all kind of did at one point in time.
We've all been there,
why would they really fear him?
Yeah.
If time is irrelevant and all that stuff to a demon,
I suppose it does bring us to what makes a god, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you become a god? Because what we're seeing in the mortal realms is people from the old world becoming gods.
Yeah. Or filling those roles at least. But there's some of the old world gods that still exist too.
But what's
like
the
Sigmar,
stock in trade?
Grungni, whatever you want to, however, Grungni. Huh?
Yeah.
What's the stock in trade? I mean, when we look at AOS 2.0, souls are the stock in trade. That's what you need to do things. But isn't that just a limitation of the others? I mean, we know Nagash needs souls because
it's Nagash.
Because it's Nagash. We know Sigmar needs to get them back. He doesn't need new souls. He needs to get the ones he's using back. Okay, now Marathi and stuff, they just want to steal, and so do everybody else. But
they need those souls, though.
Yeah,
all the elf gods need those souls.
Yeah, they need them for
Alarielle
power.
needs soul pods.
That's their
for
stuff.
her wooden army.
Yeah.
Like if you take out an entire grove of Sylvaneth and bust their soul pods,
but then
she can't bring them back.
Right.
You turn around, you look at the ruinous powers, the Tzeentch, the Nurgle. They need souls because that is what they, it's always the funny thing to talk about.
Well, they need worship. I don't know.
Well, they need worship, yeah, but they also, and that's, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. It's not souls, but they need worshipers, which sets them apart from the non-chaos gods. Yeah. Archaon doesn't need anything to bring an army into existence.
Well, I think he does. He needs followers. Without followers, Archaon...
And that's what Khorne needs, and that's what Tzeentch needs, and that's what... So, to say he's not a god, when he can take other gods' toys away from them to fly under his banner. But literally, he converts these armies to his service immediately whenever he wants them. And the best part for Archaon is when he doesn't want that army anymore, he sends it back to the god that took it. He doesn't have to feed it. He doesn't have to care for it. He doesn't have to house it.
I don't think he uses demons
his upkeep,
as much, though. I don't think he uses demons as much.
Not the big named ones, but he uses a lot of little ones.
Well, more importantly, he doesn't have to give them anything.
Right.
Whereas, usually when a mortal works with the ruinous powers, they usually have to give up something. Mm-hmm. Most notably their soul.
Their souls.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say maybe he's already given his soul or something. But, when they're done, they're forever in debt to the Chaos Gods. Archaon just is like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks.
That was fun. I could have used you. I could have not. I mean, in the end times, his army is so massive that he doesn't even care about it anymore.
Right.
He just lets them peel off and go fight down south.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you brought up earlier, right? He is indivisible. His army is like the armies of Khorne are always going to fight amongst themselves. The armies of Tzeentch are always going to trick themselves. The armies of Nurgle are always trying to get Papa Nurgle's favor. So they're going to do over each other. Slaanesh, eventually they're going to turn into debauchery of some description and backstab each other. When he shows up, when his army shows up, they don't worship all those gods in their fullest because they're all, okay, we're in Archaon's army. Mm-hmm. And so that unified front, that's always been the thing with Chaos is they could take over the world if they wanted to, but
they don't have the organization. They don't have the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until Archaon shows up.
Until Archaon is there, and then all of a sudden there is order amongst the chaos.
Well,
and it was something that we said on the drive up was, what if his end goal, and I'm not saying he's a devotee of Sigmar still.
Or even a good guy.
Yeah. But what if his whole thing is to bring order to chaos so that chaos can win and yet not have blown everything up?
Yeah, I do think that it's just a tale that he has to keep on being this destructor.
Yeah.
This pawn, right? I mean, have you ever seen Sigmar and Archaon in the same room?
Just during the end times.
Just during the end times, right?
Yeah.
When all that power was going around.
Yeah. But even that fight.
Have they fought in the Age of Sigmar?
No. So what happened was the gods... No, they did. They met once. I feel, just before Sigmar sealed off his gates. Unless they didn't actually meet during that battle. But their forces were fine. Tzeentch had just conned him into throwing away Galmaraz.
He threw away Galmaraz.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't he throw Galmaraz at Archaon?
No, he threw
it at the great, the changer,
Great
Keeper Secret.
Yeah. No. Lord of Change.
Lord of Change. Yeah.
And then it went into a pocket round boom.
Well, and the Lord of Change had changed. He had appeared as Archaon.
Yeah.
That's why he threw Galmaraz out.
Okay.
Which actually then just voids my assumption that both of them are
the same person.
Yeah. Why couldn't they be? They're both sides of the coin.
Archaon and Sigmar? Mm-hmm. Whoa. And they could split themselves in two? Oh, no.
Or it's just both parts of their personality.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no. I want to shut that one down right away.
Why?
No, it's not the same person. Or the same entity or whatever. No.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's not.
Why did we have a poster with both their faces on it?
Because they're the
opposed.
two. Yeah, they're the two biggest rivals, right? It's like Horus and the Emperor. Mm-hmm. That's the closest thing we have in Age of Sigmar. Because you can't show the face of Khorne. You can't show the face of Tzeentch. Like, they have no face there.
Face.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, so Archaon is that physical representation of what chaos is, just like Sigmar is that representation of what
Order is.
the antithesis of, allegedly, unless we're kind of subscribing to this idea that Archaon is really kind of like the order and the chaos.
Yeah.
He is also very much a Sigmar-esque god, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to, probably I'll concede that he could be a god. But he's very much a Sigmar-esque god, rather than, i.e., this warrior who fought. Like, he has a very similar story, almost, to Sigmar.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where he fights, he takes over tribes, he unites them for a cause.
In a way that they were never united before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of do have the same backstory, and that whole thing of, like you said, the symbology of the face split in half Sigmar, half Archaon. Does that not tell you they're on the same playing field? They're both gods?
Yeah, but I've never really thought Sigmar was a proper god. That's the other thing is for me, he was always just a powerful warrior that went into the Chaos Ways. And that's...
Well, I think in Age of Sigmar, without a doubt, he's a god. In the old world, there might have been
some question
about what his power was capable of. Like, is Sigmar as powerful as, like, Ulrich and... I can't remember.
I think even Malekith at one point said that he wasn't... Didn't Malekith call him a godling?
Yeah, because maybe... And that's maybe where we need to adjust how we look at gods, right? It's very much like the pantheons of gods. I mean, Forbidden Power kind of has a link to one of the recent books that came out, had this... The God King put himself away, and then there was a tier below it where... There was gods and monsters just fighting in the bottom of Mount Sigmarus or some whatever. It's basically like the Mount Olympus style.
Okay.
But in the trailer for Forbidden Power, it very much looks like a Zeorite mountain. Mm-hmm. So I guess looking at it more of, you can become a god in the mortal realms probably a lot easier than you could have in the old world.
Yeah.
Well, let's just...
So there's more power.
If we decide what a god is, and one of the things I've always heard of in the lore of other things is if people can manifest effects based on their belief in you, you're a god. So basically, if a priest can summon, or, a wizard can summon something based on his belief that you'll make it happen, you become a god. So we have all kinds of Sigmar priests out there who are doing this daily, so we have to kind of concede that he's a god. Are there any priests that...
It depends where the power comes from.
Well,
that's
it's invisible to the user. I mean, all they know is, I worship Sigmar, and Sigmar makes this lightning bolt come out of my hand.
I don't even think it's about that. I think the presence of Stormcast Eternals show that Sigmar's a god, without question. I mean, they're all infused with power with his power. They're immortal. With an asterisk next to it,
if he wasn't, we've done it as Sigmar a god. If Sigmar wasn't a god, then Nagash would be able to undo what he's done.
Right.
And he can't. He cannot separate the soul from the beast.
Right.
Yeah.
Sigmar. If we assume that piece is actually Sigmar.
Right. And we've established that Nagash is a god.
Yeah.
He goes around and consumes
he's
other
the accounting
god. He's what?
He's the accounting god.
Yeah. He's god of accountants.
That's right. Yeah. So,
but have we ever seen and I know the answer, have we ever seen a power manifested by belief in Archaon? And the answer is, I think so.
Oh.
During the battle for the All Points, during that charge of the Varangard, big heavy cavalry guys.
Yeah, Varangard.
They were incanting spells simply by uttering Archaon's name, and poof, stuff was happening. So if you use that as kind of a litmus test for whether or not you're a god, as to whether or not other people can manifest stuff because of their belief in you, then maybe Archaon's a god. I mean, I don't know what... I'm not trying to say that's, proof and that's it. We're done. Mic drop.
But we also know that, Nagash is a god.
Yeah.
Nagash squared up against Archaon and went down hard.
And went down big time. I mean, it wasn't even a fight.
Right.
He fought Sigmar
Again.
for hours.
Again, paralleling what Sigmar did with Nagash when they were both mortals. That's where Archaon is just treading old ground with these defeats and these wins and these.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's powerful. I mean, he's the big bad guy.
Well, we're not debating whether or not he's powerful.
Yeah.
You know, he's really strong. He doesn't have better than Rend 1, but he is really strong.
Yeah, if he was a god, he would have Rend 3.
That's true.
Yeah.
Minimum.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
All our theory of craft and.
You also can't see his thighs to see if he's got super strong thighs. So, again, that's another one.
So based on his stats, he's a nobody pretty
Oh,
much.
well.
And that's
This whole hour and a half was a complete waste.
Okay,
so
cool.
if you'd like to
Thank
get
you.
a hold of us,
I think, for me, what makes a god is when people believe it. If you believe, I still just get that one thing of people believing in something enough to make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's enough magic, there's enough, like, primal magic, not only chaos magic and stuff like that in the mortal realms, that if you believe in something enough, it probably is going to happen. Take the Gloomspite, for example, who believes that moon is alive.
Yeah.
And it is alive. It headbutts other moons. Which is
kind of
nuts,
cool.
but cool. But they believe in it so much that it's got its own personality and it does stuff. Now, is it cause and effect, chicken or egg? Who knows? But I feel like Archaon has just proven himself time and time and time and time again. And something's given him power.
Yeah.
And is it the belief that when you see Archaon, you believe that he has united you all together? So then you stop worshipping Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and you start worshipping Archaon. And if you start doing that, does he then gain power?
Well, I mean, it uses their formula. You know, it uses the Ruinous Powers formula for, hey, we need X amount of worshippers in order to do these things that we do. And I get that feel that Archaon has enough worshippers that at some point he could literally say, no, listen here, guys. I'm a god too.
Okay, the question is, do we think Archaon is a god?
I vote yes.
I vote yes. You're still on the fence?
I would say demigod. I don't think he's a full-on god. I think he is further along the step that Marathi is trying to take than Marathi is.
That's fair.
Like, he is channeling the power from his like, he's got this elite group of cold hard killers with him that live in the all points. He has so much control, and that's where he gets his power from.
But I don't think he's, Marathi is actively chasing godhood. He's not. I don't think he gives a rat's poop.
He still wants, he wants his worship in a different way. He wants obedience.
Yeah.
He wants an iron fist on everything.
Right.
Well, then that leads
To
me
bring
into
order
my
to chaos.
that brings me into my next thing of what is next for Archaon then, because we kind of talked about this earlier as well.
Yeah.
And your theory was that, and we kind of, I think, maybe agreed on this a little bit, that he wants to absorb the Chaos Gods.
Yeah.
Instead of there being four entities
It's just chaos.
in the Chaos realm that embody different aspects or whatever, and they're just this primordial force that doesn't congeal into anything, it's always working against itself. Maybe he feels that he could just absorb all of that into himself.
Be chaos undivided. Which also goes back to one of those theories that I saw was perhaps there is a god of chaos undivided who sits atop the four ruinous powers and lets them play because it's fun. And at some point he's going to go, okay, let's try something else.
What if they're just the same person? Again, that's where we could ultimately get to, right? Is the chaos entity is just chaos.
Yeah.
And he's got four different personalities.
Yeah.
Each aspect of him gets different supporters. That's why they bleed into each other really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be a god that was against all the gods.
Yeah.
And that's, Malal, but he was
Yeah.
owned by someone else. So they couldn't bring him into the pantheon properly. But I feel that that's almost what Archaon embodies.
Yeah.
Is this soul warrior that hates the gods. And it seems to be it doesn't matter what type of god you are. He hates it. So if we're saying that he is a god, he's hating himself.
Yeah.
It happens.
Almost.
But what if he is also the champion of that chaos undivided god, malice, whatever, and the reason the ruinous powers give him so much authority is because they are afraid of him. Because at any point in time, he could be set above them, and at which point he would clean house. He would literally clean house.
They do get worried that they can
Yeah.
die, right? The Chaos Gods do kind of worry about that from time to time.
They worry that they'll get so weak that their realm will stop existing. I mean, it's like the death gods, right?
Right.
But just on a grander scale.
Yeah.
You know, you only have power as long as people believe in you. If people don't believe in you, or there's no direct worship of you, you lose power.
Yeah.
You know, and their biggest worry is losing enough power that they'll be consumed by
Another
one of their brothers or
Right.
sister.
So if that can happen, then why couldn't I'm more powerful than what you originally believed in. I'm physically in front of you. You see what I can do. You only feel what the others can do. Worship me. He pulls all the worship into Chaos Undecided. And all the four of the major gods become weak. And then he just absorbs all of it. And he just becomes chaos.
It again brings it back to, is he still mortal?
I don't think he is. There's no way he could be at this point.
Well,
Well, he could be like Gotrek, right? He was in the Waste or the Chaos realm,
right.
and then pop, he comes out in the mortal realms.
Yeah, but I think comparing Gotrek, Gotrek's bad and all, but
Yeah.
Archaon is like a whole.
he's on a different level.
Is Gotrek going to be able to beat a god?
Yes.
Yeah, he has been a
Because
god
he's done
before.
Okay, well,
So yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
Is
you go
Gotrek
back
a
to
god?
that
I
end
mean-
times fight.
Well, I think that was a question that was brought up when that book came out too. Is
Sure.
like, is Gotrek now a new one of
god.
the dwarven god or dwarden gods?
Yeah, he should be.
And I think he's supposed to kind of fill that role since they've lost all their gods.
Yeah.
But it's something completely different.
During that fight, during the end times, when Sigmar buried Galmaraz in his chest, and Archaon kind of laughed it off, and even Sigmar was taken aback by, how could you stand a hit from this axe or this hammer into your chest and stand? You know, I wonder about his mortality, and I won't say that his immortality doesn't come from the ruinous powers marking him and giving him the ability, but my God, if you can stand up to crap like that.
A god hitting you with a god weapon.
With a god weapon in the chest, in the face and chest. You are somebody. You are not.
Yeah.
You're no Nagash.
Right.
Let's get it right here.
Sigmar should have went for the head.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there.
Yeah.
It's the
And then
final
Archaon
side.
snapped his fingers and the old world died.
Yeah,
Man.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Marvel.
And that Marvel moment was brought to you by.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's literally. It's not
I think Sigmar did aim for the head.
Yeah.
And Archaon was like, yeah, that's a cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Let me show you how it's done. So, yeah, Archaon is a god, man. I'm sorry. Like, he's certainly more of a god than the Rat King.
Oh, that's
that's for next week.
Yeah, really.
Is the Rat King a god?
well, and that's, again to that point of, is Archaon a god? When the Rat King is currying the favor of Archaon
Yeah.
because he wants to be recognized as the
Yeah.
fifth chaos god, and he's talking to this mortal? No.
But, well, because he's the gatekeeper. He's the
Yeah.
he is the gatekeeper to whether or not you can get in on that pantheon. If you started worshipping someone and Archaon didn't want you to worship it, he would wipe it out.
Yeah.
He is that powerful, and he is that single thought.
But can he do it
So,
for the entire state?
Archaon's like the bouncer outside a club, letting people in
Yeah.
to this very small club. Yeah, but what happens when the bouncer says, hey, everybody in line, let's just go over here, and you can come into my club?
Yeah.
Then he
F
takes
this
over
small
the all
club.
points and does not install a Starbucks, which makes him really angry.
I'm just saying, man, I think Archaon is aiming to take out...
I'd like to
Before
see
gods.
where his story's at right now, because we've not heard much from him
Right.
in the Soul Wars, right?
Yeah.
It's all been, and that's fine, right? The other factions need to get their time.
Yeah, they need to get their love.
Oh, we need to get armies for every faction
Right.
equally, yada, 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 whatever. The game, taking the game out of it and just looking at the lore, what is he doing? Like, he can't just be sitting there just chilling.
He might be. That's what he did at the beginning of the end times. He just sat there and waited.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, these weaklings who don't want to be a part of my grander plan, fine. Go do your thing. You're only working to my benefit anyways by softening my target. And then everybody else who's on board is going to roll with me when the time is right. And you were talking about this on the ride up. When he's sitting at the all points, he cracks open the gates to all the other realms except Azerheim.
Except, the gate.
And it's because he didn't even work towards it.
Didn't even try it.
So what if he's just waiting and amassing his power for one last strike on the realm of heavens?
To what end is the question, right? And that's what we need to... I'd like to see a little bit more insight into what you're saying. We might see it with the Corn Book a little bit.
Maybe.
I hope so.
As they touch on them a little bit. But I feel like the Culls are going to get a much bigger... Because they're getting a book as well.
The calls.
Yeah,
Corgus
Cull and Bobby Curl and...
Why are they getting a book?
Because, I don't know why they're getting a book.
My
They're getting a
other
book
brother
on to flesh out some a tribe.
Yeah.
What do you mean
Culls.
they're getting a book?
They're
What
getting a
book is-
book. The book comes out. I'm pretty sure it's called like The Culls.
It's a novel, right?
It's a novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not a battle
okay,
tome.
okay,
Not a
okay.
battle tome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not a battle
Not
tome.
a
Okay.
battle tome.
I mean,
on
they're
board.
about to get a battle tome. 'Cause
Well,
they're
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
in there pretty heavily. Sorry, they're getting a novel.
Okay.
On them
Okay.
about their with a really cool guy in some svelte armor, and which I think is actually going to tie more to Warcry than anything else,
Right.
Because
Nice.
that'll probably be one of the
How they set the stage for it.
yeah.
Well, if we get a Dark Oath book, Battle Tome or whatever, I'm sure that will feature
figure heavily.
Archaon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or will it? That's the thing. It only does if they include Vanguard and Slaves to Darkness into that Dark Oath book.
Yeah.
But who knows with that. But I'd just like to see what he's up to, what he's doing. Like, even if it was just a short...
Well, eventually he's got to get tired of Gordrak knocking over his statue.
Yeah.
He's got to do something about that.
He's going to get really annoyed with that.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
gonna
but what
have
happens
to
when the
fix
Fist
that.
of Gark goes up against Archaon?
That'll be fun.
Fistigork shatters.
I don't know.
Or Archaon gets knocked down like twice, knocked around the head, dented helmet, and then the Fistigork just disappears.
Yeah. Well,
There's nothing else that happens. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it'll be like that again, but I think it would be pretty cool to see.
I would actually be cool to see if and that's where this Forbidden Power story, maybe not what we actually get for the game, but, gods regretting what they're doing,
Yeah.
unleashing a new power. I'd like to hopefully we see this story go on to this upper echelon of gods and people fighting on a god level,
Yeah.
or the big players, and that Fistigork hitting Archaon at some point and him getting knocked down. But then we get to see what happens next, which
Right,
Archaon just getting mad. I mean, he nearly got banished from the mortal realms. At one point, the priests started chanting to banish him from the mortal realms, and all they actually did was unleash a demon within his sword,
Yeah.
and it went nuts.
Yeah.
Blew up the place, and then Archaon's like, "Nope, back in the
Yeah.
sword."
Get back in here.
I also imagine they
Bad
just got
dog.
British
The sun's getting low, big guy.
getting real low.
Yeah.
Steady.
Yeah.
But no, I imagine he has an English accent as well.
Archaon?
Yeah.
He's got
Oh,
to.
he's got to.
Because he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow. And he conquers so many things.
It's like an Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Nice.
oh, yeah, he's not one of those cheap Liverpool accents. No, he's a classy accent. Oh, sorry, did we lose more listeners there?
Howdy there. My name is Archaon.
I'm here to rule
Hey,
the
Harvey.
world.
Welcome to the old parts, buddy.
God. Hearing you do that accent is brutal.
No, I know.
Okay, anyway.
So anyway.
There.
So are we kind of ready to wrap it up without actually coming to... I don't think we're
Well,
going
I
to
think
come...
I think we feel that Archaon. I feel Archaon's a god.
Is godlike,
Yeah.
at least.
I feel demigod. I don't think he's a full-on god.
Okay.
But then I also don't really feel like the physical embodiments that we have on the table are super powerful gods.
Alariel, Nagash, Marathi.
Nagash is the one that plays it off the worst, right? But then I also imagine that that's just part of Nagash. When we see Nagash on the field, it's not Nagash's full attention, right? It's a small part of him that's compartmentalized because he does that.
Yeah.
Well, what about Alariel?
Well, Alariel's just a crappy god. She's an elf.
Whoa.
We've been over this.
Okay.
That does lead into something else that we're going to do in this segment, which I think we were calling the Grand Illusions. Do you live up to your lore?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we were going to start testing different models. Does Alariel live up to? Is she a god next to, Marathi?
Marathi's not god, though.
Well, she's trying real hard.
Life goals.
But how many gods do we have plastic or miniatures for? We have
3.
Alariel, huh?
Well, 3. Alariel, Nagash. Well, Alariel and Nagash. And then we're debating whether or not Archaon is there.
We could have 4 or 3.5.
Yeah, and then
I almost feel
Marathi
like we
is-
have 3 because we have 2.5s and 2 gods.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were going to do not just, for fun, we're going to set them up on the table and see who wins, the best out of 5 or something. But then also lore-wise, who could win. Some of the other things that we were going to talk about, and you guys have a say in this, so if you guys want to hear us debate something like we did now, tell us. Is Nagash a punk? I mean...
Well, I think that's well established.
Yeah.
He's a bean counter. That's
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much made fun of that, but there's a lot of truth to the fact that he's an idiot.
He could just be a logic god, though. That's the thing,
Ugh.
he is literally a god of logic that... He's that guy that can see the end result, and he's trying to calculate how to get there, and every time he tries to get through it...
He missed something.
He's a Doctor Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
To keep the Marvel references going. He's checking out 14 billion different scenarios of how this goes through and computing how it does, and he sees the one way it works, and he tries to do it, but
And he
every
forgets the
time...
Skaven.
But there's always that random element. And I don't think Nagash sees the Skaven, because their lives are so short. So their souls are not very bright. So you can't see them as he's calculating these stuff.
But he knows Skaven are a thing, because Skaven killed him before.
Yeah, he knows they're a thing. But
But he can't see them when he's out trying to calculate his battle.
Their lives are that quick.
Let's save it for next time.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Whatever. Okay, Phil, thanks, Phil.
I realized as we were talking through all of this, one of the things we missed at the top of the show was Forbidden Power.
Oh,
Got announced.
yeah, just a little.
When we were talking about new stuff coming out, we never mentioned Forbidden Power, which is like in the next campaign setting or
I was just
edition.
going to launch into it and then Bill could go in.
No, do your thing. Do your show, Ryan.
You do
Go ahead
you.
and do your show.
Yeah, we'll just
This
sit
is
back
this is
here.
the point where you, huh? Yeah, Ryan's rolling bad. Huh?
I was just saying we could just pretend that we did say it.
No, just I'm ready.
Sorry.
I'm ready, buddy. I'm right here. Ears open. Lay it on me. I'm ready to pick it up. And go. And go.
So, Elric, why else was released?
I really don't know how I'm going to edit that, but it's going to be funny.
So yeah, Forbidden Power. What do we think it is? Because we really only got the only thing I've seen is that little
It's
like
like
20-second
teaser
video.
Teaser
Right.
video shows, and again, this comes from, I think it's the Gods and Mortals book, has a line in it, or a little paragraph that relates to a mountain in Azir, like Mount Cenitos or something like that it's called. And underneath it is a bunch of gods in monsters fighting. And this vault, the Storm Vaults, could be where Sigmar put everything. Or there is also the flip side where people think that it's Nagash is the god that they're talking about. And the mistake that he made was doing his great incantation, which released magic everywhere. So then Cetra comes back. Well, it looks very Egyptian.
Yeah.
And so, well done, GW.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of buzz and people trying to figure out what the heck it could be. So,
The sound effects made me think of Lustria.
yeah, and that's one of the things that really jumped out at me was it was all jungle. It was all that sort of very Seraphani look to the buildings as it, as the video rolled in.
It was
And
very Azirite buildings for me.
you thought it was Azirite?
Yeah, it was very much Stormcasty, in my opinion. Gold and blue everywhere.
Well, I don't know.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great radio.
Yes, I was going to say it,
See,
but then
there's jungle.
I'll like,
Yeah, and the sounds. This
jungle-like.
reminds me very much of Lustria.
Apart from the two cats outside the front of the door. And the skulls up in the top left and right hand side.
I'm sorry, man.
I think
beginning Tomb Kings are gone.
So do I, but I mean that's just one theory.
They're not coming back.
They're not coming back. I do think I'm going to try and read the book of Mortals and Gods, or Gods and Mortals, and Hamilcar as well, because I think they have teasers in there for Forbidden Power.
Listen to this.
Yeah, it's in a jungle.
Yeah.
Jungles exist, Bill.
Yeah, but what do you
live in jungles anymore? They live in a spaceship up in the sky.
Well, then what do they mean by even a god makes mistakes?
Yes.
Other than Nagash, because he's a moron.
But yeah, they made a big point in Soul Wars of Sigmar admitting to one of his dweeb, Stormcast, that I have made mistakes. I have made big mistakes in the past. And of course, Balthazar Gelt is like, no, not you, Sigmar. You're so cool. And he's like, yes, my son. I'm kind of a major screw up when you really get to it, because when you screw up as a mortal, it's one thing, but when you screw up as a god, it's a big deal. And they left that conversation at that. Now, I always thought it was that vault that they were talking about that he was sending them to go protect. But maybe it's this. Maybe Sigmar did something wrong.
They've confirmed that it's not a new chamber.
No.
On there of Stormcast.
Well, when they sent out Stormvault, everybody just figured, oh my god, the 5th Stormcast.
The thing is, what we need to remember is that Stormcast and Sigmar are a major player in Age of Sigmar, believe it or not.
In any...
And he's the leader of the Pantheon, so he gets naming rights.
Sure does.
And he has a thing for storms.
Yeah. So you think it's another chamber?
No, I don't think it's another chamber. I think it's literally going to be the beasts of... I'm going to call it now. It's the beasts of Azir and all the terrible things that lived in Azir that he put in a vault.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's...
an ancient power, a forbidden power, an ancient thing that they threw in there.
Wow.
And he threw it in there. So it's potentially a chance to bring out another race.
Huh? Ooh. You're deeper than I was, because I thought it was just a different way of doing magic.
To be honest, I actually think it's just more endless spells. When it happens, it's going to be terrible. But it could be, I literally do think it could be a new thing.
A new order race?
Probably will be. There's a lot of stuff that just gets bundled under order.
Well, that would kind of... Well, I don't want to say it would suck, but Order's the only one that's gotten new races.
Yeah.
With the Karajan Overlords and Idanet Deepkin.
I feel like people need to get over, Order got so much and Death got little. And
I think at this point they're taking a more story-oriented approach to releasing things, and they're not looking to balance, well, we need to have more destruction because we're on the back foot.
That's true.
I think they're doing it more, they said, hey, this is going to be Soul Wars. This is the year of Soul Wars. So this is what we're going to concentrate on. We're going to see Slaanesh come out at some point. But the crux of this year is... So that's why I thought it was more a different way of doing magic. Because it could be Nagash messing up or Sigmar messing up. But somehow a different kind of magic got out there.
But we've just had that. That's where the frustration, if it is that, comes out, right?
Well, but really the only thing we had was endless spells.
Endless spells, realm magic.
Yeah.
Like, what more do we need from magic?
I don't know. But maybe it's just something different that we haven't. I mean, they've done it to us before. We've thought something was something, and then they just came out and went, oh no, here it is.
I'd like it to be maybe even God Beasts, but...
I like what you're saying more.
Yeah.
Trust me. I would like to see what you're talking about a lot more.
And it's an expansion. And that's where it gets weird, is because if it's an expansion, what is it? If we look at previous expansions, you've got Malign Portents. You've got...
Chaos Dreadhold.
That was a battle tome.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to throw something out there.
Okay.
It says even a god makes mistakes, right? What if it's Tyrion and Teclis? Because they've been slowly drawing souls out of Slaanesh. And Slaanesh is currently trapped in this thing where his gluttony has kind of kept him stuck there. But Morathi, Tyrion and Teclis
Or stealing.
are pulling the souls out, which is making Slaanesh weaker,
So
air
he's
quotes.
losing weight.
Yeah, so he's getting smaller. So he's not restraining himself so much. What if they get too greedy pulling their souls out and make a mistake and release the Slaanesh?
That could be the forbidden power is Slaanesh comes back.
It's an ancient power,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Damn, no,
And I mean-
you're right.
Now, and Slaanesh is like on the cusp. It's got to be on the cusp of getting
Yeah.
released.
What if we see that Slaaneshi elf faction? What if Malarian's elves are just Slaaneshi elves?
I don't know.
Because it's mentioned a god making a mistake, right? Teclis has made more mistakes than any other god.
Right.
Well, yeah, look at the Idnet Deepkin.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But
It's coming from a tomb.
all the Slaaneshi, but we don't know where that tomb is.
well, that might be a portal also. Ooh, the jungle. What if it's the Olgu portion of the entrance to the Pocket Realm where Slaanesh is?
It might be. And the thing about like the corrupted souls went to Marathi. That's where you get the Canary and all that stuff. So as far as like Slaaneshi elves, I don't think that's. I think you'll just get elves that have been really infused with the power of Olgu.
What was
Just
the
like-
quote?
huh?
It was even gods
Even a god makes mistakes.
regrets.
So we rewatched it and looked at
The trailer again.
the community article. Yeah, it's not a race or anything. I think it'll be just like Storm of Magic or whatever for Age of Sigmar. It's an expansion.
Okay, so
It talks about
it's-
new magic and new rules to play your games.
So new magic.
But Soul
right,
Wars
new
was an
rules.
expansion too,
Soul
and that
Wars.
brought in like the Stormcast and Night Haunt new stuff.
I think
couldn't-
what
Soul
really
Wars
see
was
new
the
stuff-
launch of 2.0.
Well, and why couldn't it be Slaanesh and somebody else?
I mean, we might see races
I don't
from
know.
it,
I'm not.
but I think the Forbidden Power, based on what we've just read, since we actually reread it,
Yeah.
is a Storm and Magic campaign.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But what if we so it says new powers, new spells,
Mm-hmm.
And new
ways to do
rules for your game. Yeah.
and new rules for your game. So what if it is? I'm trying to think of how spells could be different from endless spells and spells at this point in time.
Perhaps they're going to clean up. This may be just a thing to clean up magic a little bit because you have Khorne doing prayers. You have Stormcast doing prayers and spells. You have just about everybody else just doing spells. It's getting kind of weird and muddled as to, well, it says a spell can do that, but does a prayer do that? So maybe they're going to toss all spells out and just come out with a whole bunch of new, hey, here's the spell list for every faction. Here's what you get to pick from, regardless of whether we call it prayer or spell or judgment or thingy or doo-wop. Here's the rules for how they all interact with each other to clean things up. I mean, maybe it's just a big revamp of magic to include endless spells and everything and have it under one framework. So that, because, I mean, there is some question now and then between, does a prayer do this? Because it says spells do that.
They've cleaned up the prayers, though, in the new Khorne book.
And I mean, that's what I mean but maybe they're just going to codify everything and, expand it, bring more.
So they're going to charge me $60 to do that. Them. Seriously. Like, that to me would be... No, seriously, that would be a terrible PR decision to turn around and go, well, in order for you now to play the game the way it probably should have been at the start of Soul Wars, like less than a year ago, you now need to buy this expansion. That would be rough, I think. It would also invalidate everything people have bought, like the endless spells, everything.
Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm pretty. I'm ugly. No, I mean, you've got a really good point. That would be a real slap in the face to everybody that's bought a codex in the last year. Here, you
And I
just
don't see them doing
invalidated
that.
it. Yeah,
But
you're right.
unless the god they're talking about is GW. Like, even GW would regret. What's that decision? Endless spells.
Yeah.
And terrain for everybody. So you all now get a small marker for your terrain piece.
Yeah, and we'll all use 2D terrain because it gets in the way.
Oh, I'm machine. Yay.
No, I think it's probably Storm of Magic. Something similar.
version of
Well, I don't even know because really not Malign Portents. What am I thinking?
Malign sorcery.
Malign Sorcery added like everything that Storm of Magic did other than rules for bigger games.
What if we now see So magic has become sentient, right?
Okay.
And we have things like the lightning geist, and we see the other weird things that are fairly elemental and stuff like that. So what happens if magic starts to club together?
Oh,
So we start to see units of
Spells.
magic.
Magic.
Yeah, and that's a new way to play.
Oh, gosh.
You can summon the elementals through magic. As magic's bouncing around, it creates the ability to bring something up.
Wow. Oh, that would be wild, and you tie it to the realms. So in Shaman, you might not be able to so much bring fire, but you can bring molten metal dudes.
Yeah.
You know? And in Gur, you'd
And it
bring...
gives you a visualization for that.
So, okay. So you're
That's
saying like
weird.
universal units that anybody has access to because they're summoning them in the realm?
You could tie them to different races
Sure.
in the book, right?
You could have some specific and some universal.
If fighting Stormcast, right, you get Zeitgeist that come up. Not Zeitgeist, that's completely different.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing, isn't it?
Lightning Geist. You have Lightning Geist coming. Yeah.
Are you getting paid to mention lightning guys? Because you kind of keep going back.
Well,
to-
that's because that's the only thing that I could think would be in the Storm Vault.
Oh.
Would be a Lightning Geist. But then we're probably at nothing.
It could also be a
this point.
hailstorm. I mean, I don't know.
A typhoon.
A
Yeah.
Hellstorm rocket battery.
A cyclone bomb.
Maybe that's what
Or
it
bomb
is.
cyclone. I don't know. Whatever.
No, we're just going to...
Yeah, we
anyway,
are.
we'll find out sooner rather than later.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's going to happen after Vigilus stops.
Yeah,
Whenever
40K is
Vigilus
kind of
stops.
getting the love right now.
The
That's
love.
We're
yeah.
getting a corn book. I mean, we
Yeah.
will have had, with the corn book, this year alone, we'll have had 4.
Four
It's not even out in March.
4 dexes in 3 months.
4?
Yeah.
Gloomspace,
Oh, yeah.
Skaven,
Flesh
Beck,
Eater, yeah.
and
And now Blades of
then
Corn.
Blades of Corn. 4 books in 3 months.
Which gives us everybody but order. And they did say that this year that everybody would get all 4 of the Grand Alliances or whatever. would get.
KO, Sylvaneth will get a book
Yeah. Something.
with some spells or mining, engineering codexes.
Something.
And they'll get something. And then Zinch will get redone. For quick fixes, Zinch needs to be redone because most of his book is null and void. Same with KO. And then you've covered everything. You can bring out a couple of new armies.
Yeah.
What about Iron Jaws and Icewind, Ice Raider,
Beastclaw
Raiders, yeah.
You probably release both of them on the same weekend.
Seraphon.
And give them...
Fire Slayers.
Seraphon, I think, just need a complete rehaul.
Well, these redo
yeah.
books, I mean, I don't want to say it's not hard because I'm sure it is. You have to test the crap out of it. But it seems like they're able to do these redo books reasonably quicker than brand new.
Well, it was mentioned to me by someone that they potentially have 2 separate teams.
Yeah.
One group of people that is working on repatching some of this older stuff.
Okay.
And then another group that focuses more on like KO, Ideneth Deepkin, like the new
The new stuff.
which is going to require a lot more
Yeah.
energy because the modelers have to come
Yeah.
up with it. And
Yeah,
then
that's a total team effort. But when you already have all the models and you just have to reconfigure the rules,
add a new character or something like that.
like Flesh Eater Courts. I mean,
We got one new model and it completely changed the army.
yeah,
Yeah.
We got Skaven. We got one new model and they're
completely
completely
changed
changes.
Well,
It's
they
completely
put all the Skaven into a book.
it. Yeah,
Which
thank
is
God.
what.
But then still didn't make them really that capable of being put together because of the...
More so than Gloomspite, but that's a different discussion.
What do you mean more so than...
Skaven, the synergies in Skaven work a lot better as far as being able to put like Scryer and
Pestilence
Pestilence
together.
down on the table and getting benefits from doing that rather than putting Trogs and
They-
Squigs.
But Trugs and Squigs both... Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, that's a different discussion.
That's a different day. Yeah,
But I literally see them releasing, I'm going to say 14 books over the course of this year.
yeah, probably.
12.
14 in 1 year?
Yep.
Because some of them are going to be
They're
redos.
crickets. Yeah.
You know,
If you have new release, 2 books released on the same day that are rehashes.
rehashes.
So you have KO Zinch, Sylvaneth
okay.
Iron Jaws comes out, but then you have a standalone bigger or a Chaos release might just dot around throughout the year. That could happen as well.
Yep.
We have a Dark Oath release and we have a Slanesh release. Slanesh release will, I don't think, be that big because it has like 2 models that needs to get added to it.
Yeah, but they could also add a whole mortal aspect to
They
it.
could, But I think they're going to save that. If they release Dark Oath this year, they will not release Moral.
So you're saying right now, middle of March, that we'll get another 10, potentially 10?
I'll say 8 books.
8?
More
Another
books
8
by the end of
books?
the year.
I can almost see that. I mean, it's...
And I think it's going to go in that cadence. So next month, it'll prove me wrong or it'll prove me right. We will see 2 books come out.
Well, next month we'll get the announcements from Adepticon, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Adepticon drops will be the...
I'm going to go on record as saying we'll be lucky to get 4 more books after Blades of
4?
Corn. We'll be
4 more
lucky to
books?
get 8 books this year for Age of Sigmar. That's a substantial
That's
number
a
of
huge
army
amount
books.
Even
It's less than last year.
So...
Yeah, but we're also going to get major releases for 40K. We still have the whole Vigilus campaign. We have Sisters of Battle, which is going to be like one of the biggest releases from Games Workshop in a long time.
We have Forbidden Power coming out. We don't even know how big that
there is
is.
Forbidden Power. And then they don't do anything towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a 2-month period where they're not really going to drop
Remember,
anything.
October is a box game. November
I think we'll be lucky to
November's
get-
a box game, and Christmas is... Or December's quiet. So...
Okay. Well, we'll find out. I mean,
Sure. It'll be
I'd-
fun either way, but
I'd love to see years come true.
yeah, absolutely.
No,
I think if you tidy it all up this year,
Yeah.
that gives you next year you'll be able to release a new edition
3.0?
because we're in a 2-year cycle probably with it, tighten up the rules and then bring everything together.
Maybe.
Or just release new races, like completely new projects from the ground up. That would
Well,
be cool.
that's where I think you leave things like Seraphon to next year because no one really cares.
Right, Seraphon are a thing.
Yeah,
They're
and dwarves.
like borderline Tomb Kings.
I mean, 2020,
Hey.
right, is probably the weight of a dwarf. So next year, all the dwarf books can get updated. Like KO, Fire Slayers, and Dispossessed thing get a book.
All at once. Yeah.
All in one book.
Anyways, you're just trolling.
Let's start. Yeah. Let's
I
start
don't
wrapping it up and put it out there. I know we started this once, but if there's something you guys want us to talk about, please throw it at us on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere. Send a carrier pigeon.
And let us know what you think of this new format.
That's
too.
true. Yeah, we'd like to get your feedback on that because this was just a lot of us talking back and forth about things we hardly believe in, but at least we weren't making it up as we went along,
For the most part.
which is what we did a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we have some ideas of what to do next, but if something comes in that's really cool, we'll probably switch to that. Other than that, do we have anything else to close on? Ryan, you got anything to throw in there real quick?
Another F-bomb you want to drop for
Yeah, you
Bill
wanna drop
so
a
he can
couple
edit it out?
I mean,
And good night. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad, and our individual Twitter accounts are, for me, at Bill Castello, Castello, and for Ryan, he is at RT Gamer. All of our guests on the show will have their contact information in the show notes, and any products that we mention will also be similarly placed in the show notes. The music for the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and used under the Creative Commons license.
Stormcaster, cool.
That is so staying in. What do I have to do to get silence around here?
Stormcaster, cool.
enunciate.
Enunciate.
Would you like me to enunciate?
Well, welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast.
Coming to you from Durango, Colorado.
Yeah, Stormcaster, cool.
What's that?
When you do that little, I have to edit it out every single time.
Well, if I didn't do it, you wouldn't edit it any time.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
He's kind of giving you something to do, I guess. Stop being so selfish, Bill. Jeez,
God,
he's looking out for your best
such
interest.
a little narcissist over here. God.
Stormcaster, cool.
I mean, feel free.
Bill. We're just going to keep on putting it in here.
He's doing it. Why don't you just
Oh,
go ahead and hit the mic while you're at it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I play with the Velcro
Yeah,
again
go
in the
ahead,
background?
yeah.
Yeah, this
Here,
is
I'm
just,
going to start clicking.
yeah. Thank you. Oh, this is so
Yeah.
good. So good.